What up, everybody? It is your boy Forte, and we are here to talk about Microsoft and their financial report for this past quarter. It's crazy. Everybody wants to talk about it. Everybody is a financial analyst, and I guess we're gonna become part of that narrative by making this video. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody that stuck with this channel. Haven't made any content on it in quite some time. Been thinking about doing it for a while, but just had to kind of get back into the flow. So please pardon me if I ramble a little bit, because this is like new to me again, and I just got to get back into it. So with that being said, I don't understand why this is such a big deal. Really, I don't. Everybody is talking about this like it's this dire thing for Xbox and Microsoft that the Xbox division isn't performing on the revenue side as much as they have been in the past. And it's been quite some time since they actually have performed that well when it came to like hardware and everything like that. Now, they got big influxes when they first picked up ABK. I remember being like 50, 60 something % up in revenue, and that was great. But you know, this is the first year that they're comping against those numbers from last year. And we always said, what's that number going to look like? So now we're looking at what it looks like from, you know, year over year numbers and stuff, basically like that, plus quarter over quarter. But for me, I just look at this like, why do people care so much about what's happening with, you know, the financials? So 29% down in hardware. We didn't see that coming. 7% down in revenue. Didn't see that coming either. The thing, and then we'll get to the 2% up in content and hardware, or content and services. But Xbox has been basically telling people for years now, even before this generation started, you didn't need an Xbox for the most part. You know, so over the course of quarters and years, by putting that message out there, people are listening to it. You know, Xbox wants you to play your games where you want to play them. They want you to be a part of their ecosystem through other devices. So if you have a PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 Pro or a PC or a Nintendo Switch, ROG Ally, any of these types of devices, TV, Samsung TVs, I believe it's LG TVs, can't remember what the other ones are. But if you have one of these devices, they're Xboxes. You can partake in things like Game Pass and streaming and cloud services and all of those other good things. So 29% down in hardware to me is really not a story. I guess people are talking about because we got to make content. I'm making content about it right now. But I think people are kind of overlooking the main problem with this whole conversation. Hardware is going to be down because it's been down for a while now. PlayStation is the more popular platform. Xbox is actively telling people that you could play on other platforms like PlayStation. So they're moving people away from their hardware, but trying to maintain them inside the ecosystem when it comes to like services and content on other platforms. Revenue is tied directly to the sales of the consoles for the most part. Now, it's not down as bad as it would be if they weren't putting their games in other places like Steam and on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. So it doesn't look as bad in revenue as it does in hardware. 29% is a big number. And like I said, it's just because PlayStation is a more popular platform. The overall footprint of just the social side of PlayStation is much bigger than Xbox. You look at their YouTube channel, look at their, you know, look at their X account or anything like that. It's just more engagement around the PlayStation platform. But Xbox is trying to get people more into their services. And that's why you see the 2% up in services. People are starting to really resonate with that now. We talked about this on IOP. Shout out to the Lords for me being on there as a temp agency. But I think a lot of people are starting to get the message around Game Pass. I have more people probably over the course of the last month or so buy consoles and actively tell me they're buying them because they want to get into Game Pass, because a lot of these games that they're looking to get into, they can get at a cheaper price instead of paying the $70 up front or anything like that. Doesn't mean that everybody's going to do it. Doesn't even mean the majority is going to do it. But this is a change in behavior that I haven't seen over the course of the last couple of years. Yes, it's been off and on. People have been coming and asking and inquiring about Game Pass, but more people now are doing it due to the fact that that is the main message of Xbox at this point. They're finally bridging that gap between the hardcore and the casual gamer that is really not paying attention to none of this and being able to get their games that way. So, but when you go back to like the 7% down in revenue, like I said, is tied directly to the console. You're not getting that 30% bump from everything that's sold on your platform. Less people are playing in your ecosystem on your platform because they're over on PlayStation or they're over on Steam. They're playing in places like that, or they're playing Game Pass on Xbox. I mean, not Xbox, on PC. So you make that 30%, 20% for some games for every game you sell on your platform when it comes to third party. And then you also make that off of the revenue for microtransactions and DLC. And there's more people that partake in those type of things on PlayStation right now. It's the most popular platform. We can't really deny that anymore. We really never denied it outside of the 7th gen when Xbox 360, even though PlayStation came back and won or beat Xbox 360, Xbox pretty much handled their business during that generation, but then it all kind of fell apart over the next generation. 2013 was not kind to Xbox at all. So they had to pivot, and knowing that console sales isn't enough for them, they went down this road. Now, the funny thing is, just like I said last year, that you're going to see what the real number that Xbox is going to sit at because, ABK wasn't infused into the quarter right towards the end of that year. You're seeing that even with ABK, they're still down in revenue. They're still down in hardware. But now we have a bunch of games coming out. Now, consistently, will they still be down in hardware? Probably so. I don't see hardware really turning around for them unless they do something crazy, which I don't even know what that could be. But I do expect revenue to go up. Just during this direct, they announced 5 games that's coming within the next, 4 of the games are coming within the first half of the year. Ninja Gaiden is coming at the end of the year, Ninja Gaiden 4. And then you also have games like Indiana Jones coming out, I believe, on February 14th. These are all games that's going to help the revenue side of it. And even with those games being on PlayStation, that's 70% that they're making off every one of those games, on top of whatever they can make on their own platform, plus whatever they're going to get from services and content just for it being in Game Pass. So I expect content and services and revenue to go up this year because they have a killer lineup. We don't even know what the second half of the year looks like. We have rumors that we could get Fable at the end of this year. We also get Outer Worlds 2 at the end of this year. We know we're getting a Call of Duty. So there's a lot of things that could kind of manifest itself over the course of this year that Microsoft hasn't talked to us about, and we'll get that information later on, most likely at the June showcase. But as of right now, they're sitting on a killer year. That's why they already announced Publisher of the Year and stuff like that. So I think that the conversation around the demise of Xbox is just overblown. Like, is Xbox what we remember it to be? No, they're completely different. Phil Spencer even said it in his interview with Paris Lilly and with Destin Legary. He said it multiple times, and just the definition of Xbox, he won't define for you anymore. It's about what you are there for Xbox for. For me, I was always there for my friends and stuff like that. I did love the games like Halo and Gears and Forza, but I can still play those games in other places now, like PC, or even if they ever come to the PlayStation, I can also do it there. Don't have a problem. My allegiance isn't to the box that was produced by the corporation. It was by the games that they released and the ecosystem that they provided me to help me gain the friendships that I have to this day. I wouldn't have the friendships that I have online without Xbox being there, because that's where I met these people at. I just think that there is a lot of things that people can take from this, announcement of the financials, good or bad. You can look at it in a positive way and say, it's going to definitely get better due to all the things that's releasing. Or you could look at it negatively and say, hey, I don't like Xbox and I could care less if they do good or bad, but we're going to like dunk on Xbox fans because it's just fun to do. I think there's a lot of bickering on both sides, but in general, it ultimately comes back to you, the gamer, and what you want. And hopefully these corporations are giving you what you want when it comes to games and stuff. And if they're not, go to where they're giving you the stuff you want. And if you are getting those things from like PlayStation, who cares what Xbox does? Who cares? Because you're getting what you want over there. And then the funny thing is Xbox is also going to supplement you by giving you games on a platform you want anyway. So most Xbox fans are just gamers at this point. At this time, there's still some people out there that want to fight the good fight, but the fight's been over for a while. It's like this whole generation. Like I said, Xbox gave up on it by telling people they don't need the console. And by putting their games in other places, they're basically admitting that they are a glorified third party pretty much at this point. So with that being said, man, I love Xbox. I love the direction they're going into. I feel like the core competency of the company is software and services, and that's where they're going. I just hope that the hardware doesn't become a thing of the past, because there is a lot of people that want that hardware and a lot of people that enjoy being inside that ecosystem. And I don't think it's going anywhere, but that all comes down to still people coming out and supporting the hardware. And even with it being down 29%, I don't see it completely disappearing unless people just completely stop buying Xboxes in general. And that's to be seen. But I appreciate you guys. And thanks for checking out this video, man. It's been great having this conversation with you guys. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button down low. Try to get ourselves above 5,000 by the middle of this year. My birthday's May 20th, so let's see if we can do it by then. Check us out on DPS Podcast. That is Thursday, 9 p.m. with the homeboy Sloma Backslap. We're going to have a great time over there. And once again, shout out to the Iron Lords for allowing me to step in for Lord Sovereign because of, you know, things going on with the family. I was being called on to be able to help them and, you know, stream with them on the Lord's Day, Sundays, 1 p.m. Won't be there this week because I got to work, but your boy will be back there the weeks after that, and we're going to have a great time over there. So I appreciate them for giving me the opportunity. And like I said, follow this channel for more news and announcements. This isn't going to be the last video. We're going to keep doing these in the future, and I appreciate you guys. So enjoy the games you're playing. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend when it gets here, and peace.